It's very overcast. It's actually raining. And you guys are crooked. It's very dark in here. I do apologize. It's a smoothie day. Happy smoothie day. It's a Xander special. I think I told you before. Every day Xander brings me a smoothie that he makes. I think I told you. I'm not sure. Anyway. Hi. It's Tuesday, April 22nd, and I didn't go for my walk today. I wanted to work before I went out, so I did the rest of my work. What I did not have time to do yesterday, I did this morning very early, and I kind of like that. See, that's what the whole month of April is for me, is kind of experimenting with schedules, my time assistant. So what happened was I got up at 6:30. I couldn't sleep anymore, which is very unusual for me. So I got up and I finished editing something that I had done, and then read a bit of my emails, then had breakfast while the video was rendering and uploading and all that, and then I exercised and it felt much better. So I think walking without having breakfast, just a little bit of fruit for me, does not always work. I'm still fine-tuning my work day. That worked for me a lot. I enjoyed that. Maybe I will change things around to reflect that. There's a couple of things I want to address today. I have my notes because I can't remember for beans. Oh, first of all, somebody had commented that I should stop vlogging on the road because they're afraid for my life. I don't hold the camera. The camera sits on the dash, is very stationary. I kind of have like an anti-slip carpet, one of those like rubbery things that, you know, you put stuff on it and it doesn't, I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, it's a little carpet that grips things. So the camera sits on there. I have my remote control with me all the time, so I don't even need to reach behind the camera if I want to close it. And I'm looking, because it sits right in front of me, it's in my periphery of looking in the front. So in essence, I very rarely look at the camera lens when I vlog on the road. You will notice that. And also, I think it's less dangerous than having a passenger and talking to the passenger, and sometimes like looking at the passengers. I do not talk on the phone while I drive. I mean, I do talk on the phone, but I have integrated Bluetooth in my car. But I will not dial. I will talk if somebody calls me. I do not text while I'm driving. So I think I'm being a very careful driver, so do not fear for my life. I'm okay, guys. And sometimes I'll have to vlog from the road, which brings me to another point. I just thought this was so funny. Shannon Green, when she vlogs from her car, she calls it her nostril cam. Nostril cam vlogs, because the way her camera is situated, we kind of look up down, like underneath her nose, which is, I mean, it's I make it sound so ugly, but it's not. It's just the way she describes her vlogs on the road. And I think mine will be titled Double Chin Vlogging, because I was I was looking at a vlog I did recently. I think it was on last week. I can't remember which day. Anyways, it's not important. But I do have a double chin because of all the weight that I've gained, and I have a small face, so it's really showing. So I'm looking at myself driving and I have this giant neck. So I think I'm going to call this double chin vlogging. Anyways, I just thought it was funny. Cute nostril cam. Love it. I've had a few comments about people wanting to know what's up with my blog. If you follow me on Typepad or at CreationsCeeCee.com, the website is down, and that is not my doing. Typepad has been having some difficulties with the blogs that have domain mapping. So in essence, when you type CreationsCeeCee.com, that's not my real address, it's my domain name, but it's rerouted to Typepad. They're having some issues, and they're fixing it. It's been 2 days now that it's been down. So if you're having a problem, I do apologize, but as soon as it's up, I will let you know, probably on Facebook. So if you follow me on Facebook, then you'll have the latest update. I've had amazing feedback from my vlog of yesterday. You guys love to talk about creativity, and I do understand that. It's so fascinating. I like to learn how people get creative, how they revive their mojos and stuff like that. So, and one lady wrote a very long comment and she apologized after that. And lady, please do not apologize. I'm not going to name her name, obviously, but you know who you are. That's what it's there for. Comment away, and I'll read it. I'll read it. I may not answer right away, but I read it, and I find it fascinating that people love to share about this topic. It's a topic that's near and dear to my heart because everybody struggles with it. When it happens, creativity comes and goes. It's not something that you can command, but there are ways to revive it. I find, keep creating. I know it sounds doofus, but the more you create, the more you can actually create. That's what I found. If I have a big lull and I'm not creative, let's say for more than a week, I have such a hard time getting back into it, and that's what happened to me after last October. I was like months and months. I had to create for my job, but there was nothing left for you guys or for me. So the more you create, I think it nurtures the creativity the more you create. The other thing too is if one day you feel like you've lost your mojo, this works for me. I don't know, it may not work for everybody, but do something else, but that's connected to your creativity. So for me, I love to organize. So for me, letting go of a few projects for a few days and reorganizing my stamps, for instance, or shuffling things around, my products, cataloging them, sometimes it'll spark something in you, or it gets your mind off of why you're not being creative. Does that make sense? That's a little trick that works for me. Organizing, inventorying, just, it's connected to your creativity, but it's not exactly being creative. It's more like an automated thing, but sometimes when you do something automated, your creativity will resurface, and that oftentimes it happens to me. So I just wanted to touch on that. And today I want to show you another doodling. You remember this guy, right? So I did a mirror page on the other page, and I will show you my process. My idea behind that was to do kind of like a mirror of what I had drawn. Not completely, but the main elements being mirrored. But I wanted to use different techniques. On the original one that I did, it's all colored with water-based markers. This one, I took a different approach. I had it in my head for a long time to doodle over text paper. So I glued text paper down, then I doodled over it. Then I masked it with liquid Frisket. I wanted to try it in my journal, that darn liquid Frisket. Then I had an idea on how to handle the background. So I'm not going to talk more about it, I'm just going to show you now. The page I'll be doodling over has some sprays on there, but it will reactivate with water. So I'm going to cover that up with text paper that I found from an old dictionary. And for this, I'm using Collage Podge by Tracy Bautista. It is the perfect medium to use, especially if you want to doodle over that. If any other gel will leave kind of like a sticky residue, and this one will not. It is the perfect medium for collaging, and especially for drawing. It makes a very smooth surface, and it is matte. So I'm just gluing that down, and I'm trying not to reactivate the colors underneath, but they will show a little bit. So the idea that I had behind this page is to do a mirrored image on the right hand side of the drawing that you see on the left. Not to reproduce it completely, but the main elements. It's really tough to do an exact replica of what you've created, I find. The pen that I'm using right now for drawing is a Pigma Micron 05 by Sakura. It is a pigment ink pen, and it's waterproof and fade proof. What I wanted to achieve here is a different technique. I want the elements that I'm drawing to remain as text paper, and I'm going to mask them because I want to paint the background without having to go all around these elements because they're pretty intricate. I want it to be free flow with the paint. So I'm going to use a masking fluid to cover all these elements that I'm drawing right now. And for this, I'm going to be using liquid Frisket. You'll see the bottle in a few seconds. However, the ink that I'm using to draw will react to the masking fluid, but, and I was scared a little bit because I could see the ink bleeding through it. However, the liquid Frisket will kind of capture the ink within itself. So as soon as you remove that masking fluid, whatever ink bled through will get removed at the same time. I don't know if I'm explaining this right, but it kind of encapsulates it inside that acrylic matter. And then as soon as you remove it, the smudges are gone. So it will not jeopardize the integrity of my drawing, which was a relief. Here's the liquid Frisket bottle. And one thing you need to know is that you need to dedicate a brush to that liquid because you will lose it. It won't be suitable for painting afterwards. So I have reserved a cheap brush for that purpose. I added liquid dish soap to the water, and it helps a little bit reducing the clumps that will be forming on your brush. So I'm just going around the frame and all of the elements. As you can see, of course, I let it dry, and these are the colors I'll be using. They're just like cheap Americana paint. They're kind of the same colors that I used on the left-hand side with water-based markers, and I'm just applying them to a palette paper. And I'm using Art Guard because the yellow is cadmium yellow, and it's apparently toxic. So I'm applying, and because I'll be painting with my fingers, I thought I would protect my fingers. So anytime you see cadmium on a paint bottle, it's best to either wear gloves if you're going to use your fingers, or Art Guard, which is fantastic. It's a cream. It's a cream that protects your hand. So I sprayed a little bit of water and let it dry, and now the fun starts. I'm removing the liquid Frisket. So as you can see, there are no smudges. The black stayed intact. I probably lost a little bit of the darkness of the black, but I can't notice it. And this is a lot of fun. So as you can see, all those areas have been protected and the paint remains in the background. And I love the effect because I really wanted like a free flow background and not something as structured as on the left-hand side. So I'll be going over my drawing with a Permaball Pilot pen, which is my favorite last layer doodling marker. It's just, the ink is vivid, it's dark, it flows like a dream, but it's not permanent, so you need to know that if you're going to be using that. I'm also adding those delimiting lines between the colors. I like the fact that we're seeing a bit of that text showing through the paint. Now I'm adding some cross hatch marks to the drawing, and I'm still using the Permaball Pilot pen. I'm not going to put as many as the page on the left hand side because I find the drawings quite busy with the text showing through. I'm just adding a few more details to the flower with the permaball pen. And I'm going to do some dotting with the Uni Posca white pen, which is one of my favorite paint pen. I think I prefer it to the Sharpie. It's very crisp and it stays white. And just these little dots were enough to make the colors pop. So here are the two pages together side by side. I do like the more subtle effect to the background as opposed to this one. This is really drawing inside the lines. This one is laying down paint and then taking the marker and then delimiting a little bit, but very loosely, the paint. So I kind of like that. Oops, see, maybe I would have done another one here. There you go. There are two fun pages. You know, obviously, as I've explained, I wanted a mirror image. It's a different result. This is much more cleaner. I find much more appealing to the eye, but I'm liking this as well. Like I said, my favorite part of that page probably are those white dots. It kind of makes everything pop. It's very subtle, but at the same time, it's working. So that's it. Another updo page in my art journal. I have a question for you guys. I think this will be my next updo. I love the background. Each of the embellishments are quite subtle. Nothing is really popping here. I'm thinking of going around the flowers with either a marker, white or black, I'm not sure. And I also want to incorporate a quote or some journaling. What do you guys think? White or black? And white or black for the flowers, for tracing around the flowers, and white or black for the art journaling. Let me know what you think. Sorry about that. I have to hurry up because Stephanie's coming back from work and we need to go grocery shopping and run some errands. I think tomorrow I'm going to do a cards vlog. I haven't done that in a while, and yesterday I did a card for the store, which I'm really proud of. It's a very simple card. And as a result of that card, something else happened. And I just want to share that with you. So tomorrow's going to be all about cards, and who knows what Thursday will bring. So I will leave you on that. I will say have a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow. So as usual, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and I will see you later. Bye!